Capricorns, hello and welcome to your October 2025 General Tarot reading. Thank you for being here with me at Birdsong Musings Tarot. My name is Coco, and as always, this is a general reading. It is not a private one-to-one reading, and because of that, it's not going to connect with absolutely everybody out there all of the time. So if that's happening for you, if you're not connecting with the reading today, do consider checking out the readings for your moon and rising zodiac signs. If you don't know what those are, just go onto Google, type in free birth chart and input that birth data, and that should tell you your moon and rising signs. Also, if you're new here, welcome. I hope that you consider subscribing to the channel, staying updated on the monthly readings I put out. Also, if you're not new here, welcome back. Thank you for joining me again. And I want to apologize because I did say I was going to put out some lunar eclipse readings in September, and I did not do that because I got very sick. So I was really burnt out from my 9 to 5, and it was very eclipse coded, Virgo eclipse, asking us to slow it down with our health and redo our daily routines. And unfortunately, I kind of fell victim to the astrological circumstances, so my apologies. I went ahead and pulled most of your detail cards. We're going to pull some general energies together from 2 different decks. We're also going to pull some advice cards later on from 2 different decks. So we got a lot going on, a lot of clarification that came through as well. So let's just get that general energy here for Capricorns in October of 2025, please. Their general energies of the month. Thank you. 43, deep knowing. That's a 7 card. So you might feel like there's a lot of focus on you, your own purpose, your own future, your own goals. You might feel really locked in the month of October. I feel like that's kind of the vibe here. You're definitely locked in. Deep knowing signals that in the month you're going to be very in touch with your intuitive side. You're going to be very much feeling reflective. This deep knowing card signals that in the month you're going to be feeling very emotional, maybe a bit triggered here and there. Nothing you can't handle, I think. Deep knowing also signals that there's a lot of inner wisdom coming through in the month. I do feel like there is a gut feeling, an inner wisdom, something you know to be true about a goal that you're reaching, a goal that you are making progress with across the month. So you're very in tune, and I like to see that, especially for you Capricorns, because I feel like people don't know that Capricorns can be very in tune and emotional. You are the sea goat. Your bottom half is technically of the ocean. Okay, we'll get one more general energy card from this other deck. This is the Enchanted Map Oracle. Ooh, just flew out. Number 37, cleaning house. Cleaning house, getting rid of what is no longer needed. You may be cleaning out a closet, cleaning out like a pesky junk closet where you kind of just throw everything and you're like, all right, I'll get to that eventually. This is also the feeling of cleaning things out emotionally, psychologically, getting rid of the options that have not worked in the past, getting rid of all that clutter and baggage that you have connected to connections that have not worked, connections with people that are no longer beneficial for you, habits and practices in your daily life and routine that are no longer helpful and no longer healthy even for you. There's an orange cat in this image as well, so if you have an orange cat, that is extra confirmation that this message is for you. I feel like there is an energy here also of cutting cords, just cutting something off, like cutting emotional cords to something or somebody or some people, cutting cords to expectations that you have of an outcome or a situation or an expectation. Okay, it can also just be you DIYing around the house with new things, getting rid of things, cleaning out your closet, donating some things to loved ones or to Goodwill, like that kind of energy. Just cleaning up, cleaning out, getting the clutter out, mentally, physically, you know the vibes. Okay. Across the month, you're showing up as the 10 of Wands, crossed by the 3 of Pentacles. You are nearing the end of a road, my love. There's the 37 card. That is the card that adds up to 10. 10 is an ending and a beginning wrapped up in one. You've got a 43 card, that's the number 7 I was telling you about, which is the card of independence and self-sufficiency. Even though you're near the end, you're almost there on a decision or a goal. You are tired. The 10 of Wands has been, on a long path. They've been carrying all the wands on their back. They're like, I'm fucking done. I'm over it. When am I going to see the end of the road? This person has just showed up to the end of the road. You can see there's steps in front of them. So they've been walking up these long, long steps. You're challenging the 3 of Pentacles. This is working together with people. You might be feeling like there are some heads butting at work, with friends or family. You might feel like there are just some obstacles to projects that you want to complete, goals that you want to complete. You're maybe feeling like you can't do it alone. You need help, you need outside resources, you need some external opinions, which is interesting because you've got deep knowing, so you know what it is that you want to do. It may just be that the planning and execution side of things requires many different people or just some different hands or putting heads together in some kind of way. And either that is proving difficult because you don't want to do it with other people. That might be difficult because you don't know who to reach out to, who has this information, who can I work with about this. Or maybe you have financial resources that don't really allow you to reach out and pay people like you need to help. So I'm not sure what's going on there. It's clarified by the Emperor as well as the 10 of Wands again and the 6 of Swords. There's a transition that you're wanting to make in the month or in the future. The 6 of Swords is moving into calmer waters. And so that's kind of the challenge here. It's you're trying to move on. You're trying to leave somebody behind. You're just trying to show up differently even. Move on from something. And it may be somebody, the Emperor here. It may be a person who feels like they really have control over you, over your life, over certain circumstances from the past or even in the present. The Emperor can be like a boss. It can be a financial benefactor who you are somewhat financially dependent on. The Emperor can also be like a father figure, a masculine figure, or like a husband or an uncle, somebody like that. Somebody who is kind of above you in some kind of way. And because the 3 of Pentacles is here, with work, things might feel extra difficult with your boss. Things might feel difficult with a coworker who is kind of bossing you around, or conversely, you may feel like you're the boss at work, but people aren't really listening to you. There's just people butting heads. You're butting heads with your employees, with your coworkers, and things are just not really cohesive that much. And the 10 of Wands, again, it's there's something coming to an end. It may be a job that's ending, or it may be just a project that you're trying to push through the last few details on. And you're here okay, I'm trying to be in charge. I want to be in charge here. You may actually even feel like you're tired of being in charge. Why do I have to be the one who makes all the decisions? It's exhausting. I want to transition to a job where maybe I have fewer responsibilities. Maybe I have more responsibilities. I want to be the Emperor. However that applies to you. I see that your opportunity in the month is really good. You have the opportunity to step up and away from stress and anxiety. I feel like there is the risk that you run this month of letting this situation stress you out. But in the face of stress, in the face of even just worry, it feels like minor worries even as well. Financial worries, worries with the home, with your lease, if you're a renter, or your mortgage, or just worries around your physical resources and your wealth, your health as well. Maybe you're feeling I don't know if I'm feeling sick, or I don't know why I've been feeling chronically ill. If you're feeling like that, your guides are letting you know that you have the opportunity to step up and get clarity on something. You have to be brave and ask questions is what I'm getting. Asking questions is really important here. You have the opportunity to step up into the role of these queens, both the Queen of Swords and the Queen of Pentacles. When I pulled this Queen of Pentacles, I got that you have the opportunity to make more money somewhere doing something. I'm not sure if that means like leaving a job for another job, and that's kind of what you're deciding on in the month. I'm not sure if this means going for like a side gig. That's kind of the vibe that came out with it initially, kind of like doing a day job or something, but making money on the side with something else. You have the opportunity to kind of flourish in some kind of way with that. But there is progress that you're making across the month. You've got a lot of pentacles in your reading and a lot of wands. So there's a lot of movement, a lot of progress across October, which is nice to see. You are taking things in a very grounded route. You are approaching the month and what comes with it, any decisions that you have to make. I do see you are making decisions. You're looking at them in a very practical way. You're being very methodical and you're not rushing. You're taking things quite slow. There might actually be a bit of a need to speed things up, but we'll get into that when the time comes for that. So what's unfolding across the month for you? You've got 4 cards here. I will touch on all of them. The first here, the Strength card, clarified by the Temperance card. The name of the game is patience. It's patience. It's not burying your head in the sand. It's saying, I am going to grind and I'm going to get things done even when I don't want to. And I feel like you're good at that, Capricorns. Strength card tells us, yeah, it's a time for bravery. It's a time for courage and maybe even a time for taking risks. I do see that you have the 7 of Cups also in the month. The 7 of Cups, if you see this person, they're standing in front of all these cups saying, which opportunity do I want to go for? Which path do I want to go down? I have all of these options in front of me, and there can be some confusion associated with this card because it's a little bit foggy and cloudy. You can see the clouds kind of hanging around. This person doesn't really know which way to go. They don't know what will be the best option for them. And this is clarified by the Queen of Wands. You are trying to make a choice based off of what brings you joy and what lights you up. You've got a lot of queens in your reading. So you're definitely coming from a place of power. I feel like with this deep knowing card, you're coming from a place of intuitive and reflective power. You're not really second guessing yourself too much, maybe at the end of the month a little bit. But you've also got this Page of Pentacles and the Knight of Pentacles. And that's why I was saying with this Queen of Pentacles, a lot of progress can be made in October. You have the student to the amateur to the experienced elder pipeline, okay? You are starting kind of from ground zero in October with some kind of project or some kind of decision. You're still gathering information, and I feel like that's why you are being encouraged to reach out to people and to ask questions. The page is clarified by the Two of Wands. Yeah, that's planning, that's strategizing. So this is what you're doing in October. You're doing it patiently. You're finding pockets of time to do it. You're showing up very dedicated to it as well. The Knight is clarified by the Nine of Pentacles. This is wrapped up to your independence and self-sufficiency and your feeling of contentment by yourself. The Nine of Pentacles, I always say, is like an air of a person who has worked really hard in their life to get to a certain place. And now they're just able to sit back, relax, and enjoy. But they're by themselves. So again, there's that kind of solitary energy showing up. So you're showing up in the month quite solitary. Really just thinking about yourself and what brings me joy. How is this going to affect me in the long run? You're asking yourself these really pertinent questions when it comes to this decision that you're making. What I said before about moving quite slowly across the month, I do feel like that is a good pace and that is a good thing to be doing, of course. I always say like people shouldn't be rushing through any kind of major decisions. However, your advice from your spirit guides, higher power, whatever it is that you believe in, you are guided to embrace the energy of the Eight of Wands and the Knight of Wands. This is very fast-moving energy, and when I pulled these cards, my guides gave me the phrase speed and efficiency. Speed and efficiency. So they want you to be efficient. I feel like they don't want you to waste your time on options or paths or ideas that you are not lit up by inside. You have this deep knowing. They don't want you to distract yourself almost with these other options that you feel like, oh, well, maybe that will work, but I don't really know if I want that. There's some spark in you, there's some path that you know you want to follow, or some idea that you know you want to bring to life. And they want you to follow that with speed and efficiency. The Eight of Wands, again, is communication. Reaching out to people, talking to people, chatting. Hey, I've been thinking about writing this book, and I know that your dad wrote a book. Can you kind of maybe put us into contact? Do you remember what that was like for him? Really asking these questions that I was talking about before. The Eight of Wands is also travel, so you may be thinking about traveling, and you're actually encouraged to do so. When you're thinking about traveling, what makes you jump for joy? What makes you happy? The Knight of Wands is this energy of really going for it. On the converse side, like on the negative side, I'd say the Knight of Wands can be very impulsive and almost reckless. Somebody just really jumping forward into things without planning them. But you're here with all the planning. You're strategizing, you're getting information. So with this, they're saying like, go for it, take the risk. There's a risk that you can afford to take because you have been wanting to here, and it's almost like you're overthinking it at the end of the month. It's like you have this deep knowing, of course, that I've been harping on that, right? At the end of the month, you've got the Three of Wands and the Eight of Swords. Yeah, you're making the next few steps. Now you're reaching out to folks about things, but you're taking the next step in the planning process. Love to see it. Eight of Swords here, though, says, ooh, I'm nervous, I'm afraid, I'm scared. This is scary because it's taking me out of my comfort zone. I have a certain mindset about life, and this is making me change that mindset potentially. There's also the risk, of course, of overthinking here. Overthinking when it comes to listening to yourself and what you really want. The Seven of Cups, that confusion coming up at the end of October. You might be second guessing yourself. And this is clarified by the Seven of Wands and the Lover's card. Yeah, it's about that choice. It's about that big choice that you want to make. And the Seven of Wands can indicate a mentality of me versus the world, me versus them. It's you feeling like there's so much pressure on you. It's almost too much pressure for you to make the decision by the end of the month. And I don't know if you have to make a decision by the end of the month or if there's an idea that you want to get out by the end of the month. I don't know if there's a deadline on whatever this is in October for you, but you might feel like there's just a lot of pressure from other people, or there's this mentality, this mindset that you have when it comes to engaging with other people. Now, this may also be indicative of people coming towards you when it comes to whatever it is you're pursuing, right? Decision, idea, creative endeavor, new job, new interviews. People coming towards you and kind of saying things about it. They may be expressing opinions about it that are a bit negative. You might feel a bit attacked by people at the end of the month, and it's influencing your decision as of right now. Okay, so I just want to give you a heads up on that. Yeah, I do want to see how you're being guided to act in the face of that situation. Ooh, okay. Justice and the Ace of Pentacles. Making a balanced and objective decision. If people come to you with concerns, okay, cool, valid. If you have concerns, thank you for expressing them because you care about me. One would hope that that's the reason why they're saying that. Justice asks you to be very balanced, to take things into consideration, maybe the practicalities of what they're saying, to let it help you make a wise choice. But there's an Ace of Pentacles. So it's like, yeah, the future brings this new opportunity that feels long-term. It feels sustainable. It feels like what you want to go after for the rest of your life, or at least for a very long time. This is an example of getting a job offer, and maybe your friends and family are saying, well, do you really want to move across the country for this job? I mean, you have to think about this, that, and the third. And yeah, those are valid points. Okay, let me take those into consideration when I'm making this huge choice. But I have this good feeling about it, so I'm going to follow that feeling. So it's that kind of situation happening towards the end of the month. All right, let's see what you're guided to embrace more of across the month. This is the Green Witches Oracle deck, my brand new deck. Now they're showing me plants. I don't know if you have like a green thumb. They're showing me some plants, some potted plants, particularly some like ivy looking plants, like maybe it's called pothos. I don't know if that's the right term. But yeah, they're showing me that. So maybe getting more plants, or they may just be letting me know that I'm talking to somebody who really likes plants. Okay, the first card you got is the Seeds card. So you're guided to embrace new ideas, hope, and open-mindedness across the month. So one of the questions it might be useful to ask yourself, and it might be useful to write this down as well. How can I bring new ideas, hope, and open-mindedness into my life? How can I be more open-minded? What new ideas do I want to pursue? There's definitely one showing up really importantly across the reading. You've also got the card of the Mortar and Pestle. This is asking you to embrace integration, subtlety, and thoroughness. Be thorough. Another question to ask yourself, how can I be thorough in my investigation and research of new ideas that I have? How can I really integrate the things that I say I want in my life? How can I integrate new practices into my life, daily routines? You are cleaning house in some kind of way, so what do I want to integrate now into my home? Okay, so we're going to pull one more card of advice from the Wisdom of Tao Oracle. Can we please have one more card of advice for these Capricorns in October of 2025, please? Woo, thank you. You've got the card of the Mother. You're encouraged to love more and to spread love more. Maybe if you're a mother, love on your kids, love on your family. Unconditional love is about trust and letting go. If you refuse to relinquish control, true potential may never be realized. Allow things to happen without your influence. This is encouraging you to relinquish control so that true potential of your own situation, but also the people in your life and your relationships can blossom without that feeling of suffocation. You know what I mean? Okay, Capricorns, that's all I have for you today. I really hope this reading was helpful. If it was, please consider liking the video or subscribing to my channel. I am so very grateful for everybody who joins me over here. It's never that many people. I don't have that many views or that many likes, but hey, I just love doing what I do. So again, I hope this was a helpful reading, and I will see you in November. What? When did that happen? I'll see you in November for the general monthly reading then. And then we're going to be kind of like nearing your birthday season. Oh my God. Okay, I'm getting ahead of myself. Enjoy October and take good care of yourself and others.